Here's something most people don't realize. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related death for adults over 60. 1 in 4 older adults falls each year, while others seem almost immune. They move with incredible stability, as if they were only 30 years old. What is their secret? In today's video, their secrets are revealed. You're going to learn 7 walking secrets they use, recommended by top geriatric specialists but rarely taught to the public. They're simple. They're proven. And once you learn them, they become second nature. Make sure you watch till the end of the video. The last secret might shock you. It's something you've been doing backward for years without even knowing it. Have you or a loved one ever suffered a fall? Comment balance if you're ready to revolutionize your walking technique for good. Let me ask you a simple but important question. Where do your eyes go when you walk? Most older adults instinctively look down, scanning the ground a few feet ahead for cracks, curbs, or obstacles. It feels like the cautious thing to do. But here's the surprising truth. This habit might be quietly increasing your risk of falling. When you walk with your gaze fixed downward, a cascade of subtle but dangerous changes occurs. Your head tilts forward, pulling your upper body down with it. Your shoulders slump, your neck tightens, and your natural center of gravity shifts off balance. Even more critically, your brain starts receiving incomplete information about the space around you. In other words, the very thing you're doing to feel safer is what could be undermining your stability. Thankfully, there's a simple solution that can change everything: the 3-point gaze technique. This walking secret doesn't require any equipment, strength, or flexibility. It's about retraining your eyes, and by extension, your posture and balance system. Here's how it works. Step 1. Establish your near point. Instead of staring down at your feet, look about 10 to 15 feet ahead of you. This distance is close enough to spot upcoming hazards, but far enough to keep your head upright and your posture naturally aligned. Step 2. Use a far point reset. Every 10 to 15 seconds, lift your gaze farther ahead, toward a tree, a doorway, or the end of the block. This upward glance realigns your spine, expands your breathing, and encourages a smoother walking rhythm. Step 3. Activate your peripheral vision. Your body is equipped with an incredible tool: your peripheral awareness. Instead of turning your head constantly side to side, train yourself to relax your eyes and soften your gaze, allowing your side vision to remain active. This lets you detect movement, obstacles, or changes in the environment without disturbing your overall balance. This technique might feel a little strange at first. After all, you've spent decades looking down just to be safe. But within a few walks, many people report feeling taller, breathing more freely, and moving with noticeably more ease. And this isn't just anecdotal. Research found that changing gaze direction significantly improves walking mechanics. In the study, older adults who practiced the 3-point gaze technique showed less sway, better posture, and faster reaction times to sudden obstacles, improving by nearly 20%. If you've spent years watching the ground, you're not alone. It's a deeply ingrained habit. But awareness is where the change begins. Try something simple today. Take a short walk and consciously lift your eyes every few steps. Notice the change in your posture. Feel how your body responds. And if you've ever felt yourself peering down out of caution, type "guilty" in the comments. No shame, just recognition. The 3-point gaze is the first step in transforming how you walk, how you feel, and how confidently you move through the world. But there's another critical detail we need to address. What part of your foot hits the ground first? Most people get this completely backward, and that's where we're headed next. Here's a question you may have never thought to ask yourself. How does your foot hit the ground when you walk? It may seem like a small detail, but the way your foot makes contact with the ground can make the difference between steady steps and a dangerous fall. And most people, especially as they age, are doing it wrong without even realizing it. The body is designed to move with a natural, fluid rhythm. When we're young, we instinctively walk with a heel-to-toe motion. The heel makes contact first, then the foot rolls smoothly forward to the toes, which push off to take the next step. It's graceful, efficient, and stable. But as we get older, that rhythm often breaks down. Years of muscle tightness, reduced ankle mobility, or foot discomfort can cause us to land flat-footed, where the entire sole hits the ground at once, or worse, to lead with the toes, which throws off your balance completely. Imagine trying to walk on a tightrope. That's what happens when your feet land toe first or flat. You lose the shock absorption, the weight transfer, and the steady triangular support your body depends on. This is why the heel-to-toe roll is so important. Here's how to do it properly. Step 1. As you begin each step, let your heel make the first contact with the ground. Step 2. Gently allow your foot to roll forward along the outside edge. This is where the natural arch absorbs the force of the step. Step 3. Finish by pushing off with your toes, transferring your weight forward, and setting up your next stride. It may feel strange at first, like exaggerating a motion you thought you already knew. But after just a few minutes of focused practice, most people begin to feel more grounded and secure. That's your body waking up to the movement pattern it was designed for. If you have arthritis, plantar fasciitis, or other foot pain, don't worry. You don't have to force large steps. Start small. Even slow, short steps with mindful heel-to-toe motion can build strength, coordination, and stability over time. A simple practice exercise. Take 5 slow steps in a straight line. Feel your heel make contact, feel the roll, and finish with your toes pushing off. Focus more on smoothness than speed. This motion builds muscle memory, which means soon your body will do it naturally, without needing to think about it. And here's something you may not expect. Walking this way also reduces impact on your knees and hips. By using your foot's full range of motion, you create a smoother transfer of force through the joints, reducing wear and tear over time. Dr. James Richardson, a rehabilitation specialist who studied gait mechanics for over 30 years, puts it like this. Proper heel-to-toe walking reactivates your body's shock absorbers. It's one of the most protective movements an older adult can relearn. And supportive shoes make a big difference here. Thin, flexible soles help you feel the ground and guide the rolling motion. We'll talk more about footwear in the later part. Just stay for it. So go ahead, pause this video if you need to. Take a few steps using the heel-to-toe roll. Then let us know in the comments. Did it feel more stable? If so, type the word smooth below. Next, we'll explore a part of your body you probably never thought about when walking, but that secretly controls your entire stability system. And the best part? You already have it. You just need to switch it back on. When most people hear the word core, they picture sit-ups, gym workouts, or fitness models on magazine covers. But your core has a far more important job, especially as you age. It's not about six-pack abs or crunches. It's about stability. Your core muscles are the deep stabilizers of your body, quiet, often forgotten, but absolutely essential for balance when walking. Here's the problem. As we get older, we tend to turn our core muscles off. We let our midsection go soft and unengaged. And when that happens, something subtle but serious occurs. The muscles in your back, hips, and legs are forced to overcompensate, and that chain reaction creates instability, fatigue, and eventually falls. Think of your body like a tent. The ropes, your legs, and spine can't keep it upright without a strong central pole. That central pole is your core. Now, the good news. Engaging your core while walking is simple, and you don't need a gym to do it. Physical therapists call it the zip-up technique. Here's how to do it. Imagine gently zipping up your lower belly, as if you're drawing your belly button slightly inward toward your spine. Don't suck in your stomach or hold your breath. The movement should be subtle, like a gentle lift. You're aiming for about 20 to 30% effort, just enough to activate your stabilizers, not so much that you create tension. You should be able to breathe comfortably and speak normally while doing this. That's your sign that you're doing it right. At first, it's easy to forget. That's why many physical therapists suggest using visual cues throughout your home. A small colored sticker by your front door, on your bathroom mirror, or even on your refrigerator. Every time you pass by, it's a reminder. Check your core. Within days, that small action starts turning into habit. And why does this matter so much? Because research from the National Institute on Aging has shown a clear link between core engagement and fall prevention. In one study, older adults who practiced this technique showed improved recovery when they stumbled and better control on uneven surfaces. There's also an unexpected bonus. Engaging your core while walking can help relieve lower back pain by aligning your spine and distributing effort evenly across your body. A common mistake? Trying too hard. Some people engage their core like they're bracing for a punch. Tight, rigid, and unnatural. That kind of tension is exhausting and counterproductive. Instead, think of your core like a seatbelt, firm but flexible. It supports you without limiting you. So here's a simple way to begin. The next time you walk from one room to another, try engaging your core using the zip-up technique. As you walk, stay relaxed. Breathe normally. Keep your stride smooth. Then pause and ask yourself, did I feel more stable? If you've never thought about your core muscles while walking, you're not alone. But once you try this, you may notice something powerful, like suddenly tightening the bolts on a wobbly piece of furniture. It's one of those small adjustments that leads to big changes over time. In the next section, we'll reveal a walking habit most older adults do completely backwards without realizing it, and it has to do with your arms. You may be surprised by how much they matter in keeping your body balanced. Here's something most people never think about when walking: your arms. You may not realize it, but the way your arms move or don't move can dramatically impact your balance, stability, and even how confident you appear when you walk. Think back to how children move. Their arms swing freely and naturally with each step, creating rhythm and balance. Now compare that to how many older adults walk. Arms stiff at their sides, clutched in front, or barely moving at all. This change often happens gradually. You might have started holding on to things more for support. Or perhaps you've developed a cautious, guarded way of moving. But over time, reduced arm swing quietly throws off your body's equilibrium. Why? Because your arms are built to act as natural counterbalances. When your right foot steps forward, your left arm should swing forward. This opposing movement reduces torso rotation, supports momentum, and stabilizes your entire gait. Without it, your body works harder to stay upright, wasting energy and increasing your fall risk. This is why physical therapists emphasize a simple but powerful adjustment known as the arm swing reset. Here's how to do it correctly. Bend your elbows slightly, around 45 degrees is ideal. Let your arms swing naturally forward and back in rhythm with your steps. Avoid swinging your arms side to side or across your body. They should move in parallel lines like small pendulums. Your hands should gently pass your hip pockets at the back of each swing. At first, this might feel exaggerated or unfamiliar. That's okay. In fact, many people are surprised to realize just how stiff their arms have become. But within days of practice, most begin to notice an improvement in how balanced and energized they feel. Try this 3-day reset used by many therapists. Day 1. Walk for 5 minutes and exaggerate your arm swing slightly. The goal is to reawaken the movement pattern. Day 2. Walk normally but place attention on the coordination: right foot, left arm, left foot, right arm. Day 3. Focus on relaxing your shoulders as you swing your arms naturally. Tension often creeps in without us realizing it. And what does the science say? A study from the University of Michigan's Gait Analysis Laboratory found that proper arm swing reduces energy expenditure by nearly 8%, which means you walk longer with less fatigue. Even more impressive, participants who restored natural arm movement had a 15% better recovery response when they stumbled. Researchers also found that simply retraining arm swing could reduce fall risk by up to 30% in adults over 65. Think about that. 30% just from unlocking a part of your body you've likely overlooked for years. So here's your gentle challenge. The next time you walk to the mailbox or around the grocery store, take notice of your arms. Are they moving in sync? Are they helping or holding you back? If you find yourself keeping your arms stiff or locked, don't worry. You're not alone, but you now have a simple tool to shift that. Next, we'll explore something even more foundational: your feet, and how the wrong shoes or weak foot muscles could be quietly sabotaging your balance. What you learn may change the way you think about every step you take. Let's turn our attention to something we often overlook: our feet. They carry us step after step, year after year. But as we age, most of us forget just how vital our feet are to our balance, our confidence, and even our safety. Here's something surprising. Most falls don't begin at the knees or the hips. They begin at the level of the floor, with a misstep, a wobble, or a missed signal from the feet. And much of that can be traced back to two hidden problems: weak foot muscles and the wrong kind of shoes. Over time, the small stabilizing muscles in our feet tend to weaken. They're rarely exercised directly, and decades of wearing rigid, overly cushioned shoes can make them lazy. At the same time, the nerve endings on the soles of our feet, which provide the brain with vital information about where we are, begin to decline. This combination leads to poor feedback, slower reactions, and a higher risk of falling. Wearing thick-soled, overly soft shoes might feel comfortable, but they often block important sensory information. In fact, some podiatrists call them balance blockers. The more padding between your foot and the ground, the harder it is for your body to adapt when the surface suddenly shifts. So what's the solution? It starts with choosing the right kind of footwear, shoes that support your foot's natural movement and give your brain accurate feedback. Here are 3 features to look for in a good walking shoe. A low, wide heel, not completely flat, but with no more than a 1-inch difference between the heel and the ball of the foot. A flexible sole at the forefoot, allowing your toes to bend and your foot to roll naturally. Secure fastening, like laces or strong Velcro, to keep the shoe firmly in place. Slip-ons often lead to instability. Next, you'll want to strengthen your foot muscles, even just a few minutes a day. Here are 3 simple exercises that help. Toe spreading. While seated, spread your toes apart as wide as you can. Hold for 5 seconds, then relax. Repeat 10 times. Towel scrunches. Place a small towel on the floor. Use your toes to scrunch it toward you, then push it away. Great for coordination and control. Marble pickup. Place a few marbles or small items on the floor. Pick them up with your toes and place them in a bowl. This builds strength and dexterity. Here's one more tip. Try walking barefoot at home for a few minutes each day on safe, clean floors. This reawakens the nerves in your soles and improves your body's ability to adapt to changes underfoot. So take a moment right now. Look at the shoes you wear most often. Do they support your stability or quietly sabotage it? If your answer surprises you, you're not alone. But now you know what to look for and how to rebuild strength from the ground up. In the next part, we'll explore a subtle adjustment that may be the most visually obvious sign of unsteady walking, and how correcting it can immediately make you feel more secure with every step. Stay with me. Take a moment to imagine a tightrope. Now imagine trying to walk across it, heel to toe, with your feet close together and arms outstretched for balance. Every step requires immense focus. Every sway feels risky, and the slightest miscalculation could send you tumbling. Now here's the question. Why do so many older adults walk that way every day, without even realizing it? One of the most common walking mistakes as we age is walking with the feet too close together. It may not be as dramatic as a tightrope, but the effect on your balance is similar. A narrow stance shortens your base of support, increases side-to-side sway, and gives your body less room to recover if you're thrown off balance. The good news? This is a simple problem with a powerful solution. It's called the Widened Base Technique, and it can be one of the most instantly effective adjustments for fall prevention. Here's how it works. Rather than letting your feet almost cross the invisible center line of your body, begin walking with your feet spaced hip-width apart. Not wide and unnatural, just enough to create a stable foundation beneath you. Physical therapists sometimes refer to this as walking on railroad tracks instead of a balance beam. This small change creates a stability rectangle beneath you, giving your body more support in every direction. With every step, you're building a safer frame for your posture, your stride, and your confidence. How can you practice it? One simple method is to place 2 parallel strips of tape on your floor, spaced about the width of your hips. Walk along the path, 1 foot on each line. Do this a few times a day. Within a week or 2, your body will start to memorize the correct spacing automatically. If you don't have tape, use visualization. Imagine your feet walking on 2 train tracks. Your feet should always remain on their own line, never crossing over or stepping into each other's space. It's also worth noting that the optimal base width may vary slightly based on body type. Taller individuals naturally need a bit more width. If you have hip or knee discomfort, start narrow and gently increase spacing as your comfort allows. You might be surprised by how much more stable and relaxed you feel with this small shift. Many people report less effort required to stay upright, especially on uneven ground like gravel or grass. Take a moment on your next walk to observe yourself. Do your feet cross the midline? Are you walking on an imaginary tightrope or a pair of strong, stable tracks? This technique takes no equipment, no added time, and no physical strain, just awareness and consistency. In our next and final walking secret, we'll reveal when most falls actually happen. It's not where you think. And once you understand this hidden risk zone, you'll know exactly how to protect yourself during the most vulnerable moments of your day. Here's a surprising truth that most people don't know. Most falls don't happen while walking in a straight line. They happen during what experts call transition moments, those small in-between movements we barely think about. Getting up from a chair, turning a corner, stopping suddenly, shifting from tile to carpet, stepping sideways through a doorway, and many more. These moments often last just a second or 2, but they are where your body is most unstable, because it's adjusting from one movement pattern to another. And if your brain and muscles aren't prepared for the shift, a stumble or fall can happen before you even realize what went wrong. That's where the mindful transitions technique comes in. The idea is simple. Instead of rushing through these change of motion moments, you pause, even just for a few seconds. This tiny pause gives your body time to stabilize, reset, and prepare for the next action. It's called the 3-second pause. Here's how it works. When standing up from a chair, pause after you rise. Feel both feet grounded. Engage your core gently, then begin walking. When turning, pause first. Don't twist your upper body while your feet stay planted. Instead, lift one foot and pivot it toward the new direction. Then, step into it. When moving between surfaces, whether it's carpet to tile or indoors to outdoors, take a brief moment to notice the ground beneath you, reorient your balance, and then proceed. When entering tight spaces, doorways, corners, or stair landings often require narrower steps or changes in direction. Pause, breathe, then move deliberately. This may sound like overcaution, but in reality it's one of the most powerful forms of prevention. That's a dramatic reduction from something that takes just a few seconds and no physical strain. Here's a simple way to integrate this into your daily life. Identify the most common transitions in your home, like getting out of bed, standing from your favorite chair, or turning into the bathroom. For 1 week, place small reminder stickers or notes near these spots. Each time you reach one, practice the 3-second pause. Ground your feet. Engage your core. Focus your gaze. Then move. This will quickly become second nature. Think of it like learning to drive defensively. You don't wait until there's danger. You create safety before you move. The most common resistance to this technique is that it feels too slow. But here's the truth. Going slower for 3 seconds now could prevent months of recovery after a fall later. So ask yourself, when was the last time you nearly tripped or lost your balance? Was it during a sharp turn? While getting up quickly? Stepping sideways in a rush? You're not alone. And now, you have a mindful tool to regain control during those moments. In our next section, we'll show you how to pull all 7 of these walking secrets together, and how just 1 week of practice can help you walk more confidently for years to come. By now, you've discovered 7 simple but powerful walking secrets, each one addressing a different part of how your body moves, balances, and protects itself as you walk. These aren't quick fixes. They're not exercises you'll do for a week and forget. They're permanent upgrades to your natural way of moving, designed to become automatic, effortless, and part of your daily life. Let's quickly review them. The 3-point gaze, where you look, determines your posture and stability. The heel-to-toe roll, the way your foot hits the ground, affects your whole stride. Core engagement, activating your inner stabilizers, reduces strain and boosts balance. Arm swing reset, your arms are natural counterweights that prevent falls. Foot strength and proper footwear, strong feet and smart shoes form your foundation. The widened base, walking with hip-width spacing creates stability beneath you. Mindful transitions, pausing before position changes protects you at your most vulnerable moments. Each of these techniques is powerful on its own, but when practiced together, they create a synergistic system, a complete transformation in the way you walk, carry yourself, and move through your day. To make this easy and practical, here's a 7-day implementation plan, a step-by-step schedule that helps you layer these techniques in a way that's manageable and effective. Day 1. The 3-point gaze. Focus only on how and where you look while walking. Practice using near and far points and gently activating your peripheral vision. Do this during every walk today. No pressure, just awareness. Day 2. Add heel-to-toe roll. Continue your gaze work and now begin to notice how your foot makes contact with the ground. Focus on landing heel first, rolling through the foot and pushing off with your toes. Day 3. Introduce core engagement. Keep practicing gaze and foot roll. Begin using the zip-up technique as you walk, lightly drawing your belly inward. Check in during short walks at home. Breathe naturally. Day 4. Layer in arm swing. Add relaxed arm movement to the techniques you've built. Let your arms swing naturally opposite to your legs. Avoid crossing your body or tensing your shoulders. Day 5. Evaluate footwear and begin foot exercises. Check your shoes. Are they stable, flexible, and secure? Start 1 or 2 of the simple foot strengthening exercises, like towel scrunches or toe spreading, for a few minutes today. Day 6. Focus on widened base. Bring attention to your step width. Use visual cues or tape lines on the floor to guide you. Practice walking on train tracks, especially during daily errands or short home walks. Day 7. Practice mindful transitions. Now integrate the 3-second pause technique. Choose 3 transitions you do often, like standing from a chair or turning into the hallway, and practice pausing before moving. By the end of this week, your body will already start adapting to these changes. Your balance may feel steadier, your steps more intentional, and your confidence stronger. Going forward, you can spend just 2-3 minutes each morning mentally reviewing these 7 techniques before you head out for the day. Over time, they'll become second nature, your new default way of moving. Some people ask, do I really need all 7? The answer is yes, because they work together. Each one supports the others. Like pieces of a puzzle, they create a complete system of movement designed for safety, strength, and ease. And if you're wondering whether these 7 techniques can truly make a difference in real life, let me share the story of someone who once walked with fear, but now moves with freedom. Margaret never thought of herself as frail. At 76, she still managed her own garden, walked her dog every morning, and met her bridge club twice a week. But one chilly afternoon, while stepping off a curb she had crossed hundreds of times, her foot caught slightly, and before she could react, she was down. A fractured wrist, a bruised hip, and a shaken spirit followed. But what hurt Margaret most wasn't the fall, it was the fear that crept in after. She stopped walking her usual loop. She hesitated at stairs. Even inside her own home, she felt less sure-footed. My world started shrinking, she later admitted, not because I couldn't walk, but because I didn't trust myself anymore. Her daughter, concerned, gently urged her to see a physical therapist. That's when Margaret was introduced to a different kind of program, not just stretches or balance drills, but a new way of walking. 7 small adjustments that focused on awareness, posture, and strength in motion. She began slowly, one step at a time. First, adjusting her gaze. It felt strange at first, looking up instead of down. But after a few days, she noticed her back straightening, her stride opening. Next came the heel-to-toe roll. It took some conscious effort, especially after years of walking flat-footed. But she practiced daily, at first on the carpet, then outside with her walking stick. Then she discovered the power of core engagement, a simple internal lift that gave her back its support. She found herself using it not just when walking, but when bending, rising, even turning. By the end of the week, Margaret had layered in all 7 techniques, right down to the mindful 3-second pause before stepping into her garden, and the widened base she used while navigating the grocery store aisles. 2 months later, she returned to that same street where she had fallen. This time, she crossed it with ease. No walker, no cane, no fear. People think falling is just a part of aging, Margaret says. But I learned it's often about how we move, and that can be changed. Margaret's transformation didn't happen overnight. It wasn't about luck, medication, or miracle devices. It was about awareness, consistency, and a willingness to relearn something most of us take for granted: how we walk. And the same possibility exists for you. Whether you've had a fall, a close call, or simply noticed your balance isn't what it used to be, this isn't the end of the story. It's a turning point. Because walking without fear isn't just about movement. It's about confidence. It's about independence. It's about knowing that your body can still support you, not perfectly, but powerfully, when you give it the right tools. These 7 walking secrets aren't difficult. They require no expensive equipment or complicated routines. They begin with noticing how you move and choosing to move with intention. You don't need to master them all today, but even one small change, where you look, how your foot lands, the pause before you turn, can start a ripple effect through your entire body. So take a moment now. Ask yourself, am I moving through the world with confidence or caution? Am I shrinking my steps out of fear, or expanding them with strength? What would it feel like to walk without worry again? If this video helped you feel more hopeful, more informed, or more inspired, please click the like button. It helps others find this guidance too. And if you know someone, maybe a parent, a spouse, a friend, who could benefit from walking with more security and ease, share this with them. One small tip might prevent one serious fall. And if you'd like more content like this, gentle, evidence-based advice to help you age with strength and dignity, subscribe to the channel. Because it's never too late to reclaim the way you move through the world. And every confident step forward begins with awareness.